Hello and welcome to the first episode of Literary Soulmates, where we help you find your perfect book match. I am Montana.
And I am Mel.
We are your hosts of the Literary Soulmates book club and podcast. So, like I said, I'm Montana. I'm 25.
I'm 25 as well. Both 26 this year, but we do not need to talk about it.
Yeah. That's okay. Yeah.
we just don't have to address that. So this is a very new podcast. This is literally the first time we're sort of properly recording this. So there's probably going to be some bumps here and there, but you just got to stay with us because it will get better. We'll manifest that.
Absolutely.
We'll manifest that it will get better.
We will. Yeah. We will.
Yeah.
For sure. So this is our book club. Make sure to follow us on Instagram and TikTok at literary.soulmates. And also on Fable.
Yes, Fable.
It's free. So that's where we'll be hosting our book club. You can get ebooks on there, and also the book that we read each month is split up into chapters on there, so we can discuss each chapter as we go. So spoiler free. Like I said, it's free, so join us on there and be part of our book club.
We're really trying to get this app as our main thing, obviously apart from the podcast. So I know it's like another app to download, but I feel like it'll be worth it.
Absolutely. It's free. Like
if you downloaded TikTok, you got to download Fable. That's all I'm saying.
All right, so we also have a rating system as part of our books that we read for book club. We'll talk about that a bit more. Probably a bit later. After we introduce everything. So, I
guess we go into like how we met and why we wanted to do this.
Sure. Yeah. Did you want to?
Yeah. You want to go first? Okay. So we met a very long time ago. We met in 2003 because we both went to primary school and high school together.
We did.
So we really are the definition of childhood besties.
Oh yeah.
We've known each other since we're like 4.5, which is actually insane. We went through, as I said, primary school together, and we got really close like in high school. And we've seen each other grow, and I don't know,
just been through it all together.
Yeah, really, just seeing each other through everything. We both love to read. We have our own like separate reading journeys, but we kind of recently came together, and Tana was like, hey, I think I have an idea. Let's do like a book club, and we could do a podcast. And I was like, that's a genius idea, because we both love to read, and book talk has become a huge thing at the moment. So I think everyone's getting into books again, which is a beautiful thing. So we thought, why don't we just kind of
just do it?
Just do it. Why not have our shot? I think that's my take on it. What about you?
Yeah, absolutely. Just such a good opportunity for it, and like Mel said, we love reading, we love books, and we're besties, so why not take the opportunity, go for it, and just have a bit of fun, and just enjoy the whole journey. So that's basically why I wanted to create this and have this community with each other and with our friends and anyone that wants to join the book club.
Do you want to go into like our reading journeys?
Let's do it. So our reading journey. How did it start? I loved reading since I was a kid. I think the first book series I really got into was Selby. Oh my goodness. What? I can't remember like one of the book titles, but it was just like a silly sort of book with, I think the dog was a main character.
Iconic, as Given Clifford, and we love that.
It was like he was like a detective or something like that. I don't know, but I was obsessed with those books. And then Harry Potter as well. Love them. I don't think I finished the series, but that's okay.
I never read them, so don't judge me. I know, that's a really big admission to make, but anyway, go on.
That's okay. That's all right. And then Twilight came out.
Oh, slay.
An absolute phenomenon. I was 100% too young to be reading them.
I think we're both in like year 5 or something,
probably like year 4. It was
dangerous.
So bad, but I loved it.
So good.
But so good. I think that's what really got me into fantasy as well, but anyway, we can go into that a little later on. But I think those were really the books that got me into reading.
And were you like consistently into reading all throughout like primary and high school to young adult, or did you like take a break, or was there...
I think through high school I definitely dropped off a bit there. Just because of the high school experience, you know.
Yeah, 100%.
Just social and everything, experiencing all that for the first time, and just left the reading behind for a little bit. But a few years after high school, definitely got back into that. Actually through COVID.
Yeah,
really.
right.
I read it like here and there after high school, but during COVID, I really got into it then.
That's where our love for ACOTAR came from, yeah, which we will definitely get into probably in another episode, but we're both lovers of ACOTAR.
Definitely.
And COVID definitely, helped us get into that.
Such a perfect opportunity for escapism during COVID.
It was so good. We love you, Rice-Anne.
We do.
Even though I called you Rice-Anne for most of it.
But it's alright.
Right. And Feyre was Fear for so long, and you know what? You just read and you just hope that you got it right.
We got the story right. It's okay.
You know what? It is what it is.
It's fine.
My reading journey, God.
Yes, tell us about it.
I loved to read as a kid. I'm trying to think of the first series, because obviously I feel like we all read Twilight. But obviously I would have read stuff before then. I did love a little bit of Goosebumps, but I wasn't a huge Goosebumps person, but that's like the first thing that comes to mind. I can't remember my first series, but I can remember the first book that I like absolutely adored. And that was The Book Thief by Marcus Zusak. So that was like the first one as a kid where I was like, oh wow, like this, the style of writing, like the point of view, like from death was just the way it was written was so beautiful. And I was like, okay, wow, books can really like transport you into a completely different world. And make you feel like you're there. I think that was the way that he wrote that was just so unique, and I loved it, and I think that's what really got me into it. And then I loved the Da Vinci Code series. I loved reading the Da Vinci Code. That was the first time I had my all-nighter, which is like so #slay and so cool. I think I was in high school. You can obviously tell that I was very popular, and all the boys wanted me. Obviously. First all-nighter was reading the Da Vinci Code, and I stayed up until 7 a.m. and I was like, this is it. I've reached peak adolescence. And I really, that was my moment. And from then on, actually in high school, that's where I picked up more reading. And I read lots of, I don't know, like philosophy stuff as well, because I was into that. But lots of, classic literature, lots of Gothic. I love the Gothic. Dracula's one of my faves. I love Dracula. Picture of Dorian Gray, we love that. But then in early uni, I just like kind of stopped reading. I just didn't want to read lots of scientific articles. I just had enough of reading things, so I kind of dropped off.
That's fair.
Didn't really read much. I think I read 1 or 2 YA series. I can't remember the names. If I can't remember them in this episode, I'll give you guys I'll give it to you in the next one. I think it's Julie Kagwa, her series, and there was the Fallen series as well. I think the Fallen series. Yeah, that was really good too. I think that was one of the first ones that I read in high school.
Now you are bringing up some memories from high school.
I actually just forgot until I remembered the book cover, because it was like such a memorable book cover.
Hold on. I'm like, it's bringing back all the memories.
Because
Fallen by Lauren Kate.
Yes, Lauren Kate. I
read that series as well.
Series. Typical like love triangle, like baddies. But it was like, I think that was probably my first like fantasy other than Twilight. So that's like its own thing. Like proper fantasy YA where I was like, this is really cool. Like I like this.
Oh my goodness, I forgot about those. I was obsessed. Wow.
I know. So
you're helping bring the memories back.
I know. Well, we might have to have one episode where we just talk about like our old books and stuff. But yeah, that's where it like really started. Then I dropped off, and then when COVID came to haunt us all, that's when Tana actually suggested to read ACOTAR. And at first I was like, I don't know how I feel about like romance books, like adult fiction, because as a teen I was a tiny bit judgy of YA. I was like, why are girls reading this? But then I read it.
Girl, it's not YA.
My lord. It was a spiritual experience. Court of Mist and Fury is the best.
I could not agree more.
Oh my God. We need a whole episode.
That whole series
changed my world.
Was just such a monumental
shift
time.
It really was.
In our lives. Like that, there is nothing so far.
Right.
That has made me feel the same way.
Yeah, literally. I feel like I'm
insane.
Constantly chasing the ACOTAR high.
Oh, yeah.
And I can never reach it. Like Fourth Wing, sort of getting closer.
Yeah,
For sure, probably the closest, but still like ACOTAR, the feeling, the characters, the world, the wars, like just everything was just delicious.
Yeah. For sure.
But yeah.
Oh, goodness. Wow. Bringing it back a bit to...
Yeah, we should probably get back into
high school real quick.
Yes, please.
I definitely remember sharing some very inappropriate books.
Wattpad high.
yeah. Within the group. But I wouldn't say they're probably too beneficial to the reading journey. But
you know what? But sometimes the bad books, the weird books, are the best books.
Yeah. But it's all part of it, I guess. But yeah, that just popped into my mind when you were talking about high school.
Yeah,
so,
for real.
Yeah, wow. That's crazy. Okay. Let's do, what about our favourite books and our favourite genres?
Genres, apart from the books that I already mentioned, because I still love my Dorian Gray, my Dracula, my Book Thief. Those are like my top.
Your top books?
In my top books, yeah. There's probably so many books. I don't know if I could do like an absolute fave. But in terms of genres, at the moment, we love fantasy, of course.
Yep.
Romance, I actually am warming up a lot to. I think it's just an adult obviously experiencing things and being like, oh crap, but like I think I've been through that before, or I felt those emotions before.
Relating
100%.
Yeah.
So I love me some romance. Is it romantasy?
Yes.
Yeah, we love that. That's a big
For
yes.
sure. Romantasy, yep.
But I do love my mystery and my crime thrillers as well.
Yeah.
I love my James Patterson, Agatha Christie vibes. We do love, on the opposite of that, like we want a bit of murder mystery and we love that. But yeah, that's probably where I stand. Yeah. And we're like historical fiction too, but that's more like when I want to think. You know, and I don't often want to do that.
Yeah.
So
that's okay. Yeah.
What about you?
Favorite books. I should have thought about this a bit more.
No, same.
I'd say the first one that always comes to mind is Piranesi by Susanna Clarke.
Stunning.
That was, I feel like it's very divided, people's opinions on that book, just from what I've seen, but it's such a melancholic, just beautifully written, atmospheric book, and I really quite enjoyed that one.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, I think that's the really only one that comes to mind. Favorite genres? Let's see. Yeah, romance. Literally same as you. Fantasy, romantasy.
We love
crime, thriller, mystery.
Period.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think
that's why we started this book
That's
club.
why we're soulmates. That's why we're literary soulmates.
We're literary soulmates, exactly. So that's why we started this whole thing. And yeah, I think with book talk and everything, I think everyone's kind of on the similar sort of journey. I won't say the same, but a similar sort of journey. And we're all kind of reading very similar things at the moment. I think there's a big rush of books being published at the moment that are like probably romantasy is probably the biggest or one of the biggest ones. So we kind of just want to make it fun, talk about it a little bit, go through our thoughts, our likes, our dislikes of each book every month. And I think that kind of covers the intro.
Let's go into our rating system.
Yes.
We have what's called the Perfect Match rating system.
Yes.
So this is what we came up with to rate our books that we read each month.
Yes.
So yeah, like I said, it's called the Perfect Match rating system. Relates to our book club name, Literary Soulmates. And we have a certain criteria that we created to see if the book checks all those boxes and therefore whether or not it is a perfect match. So let's just read through real quick what our criteria is. So how it works is there's 5 questions, and we ask ourselves these questions when we finish reading the book. And depending on how many out of 5 questions that we have said yes to, then we compare it to our 5-level rating system.
Yes.
So first question is, did I feel a genuine connection with the book? So sort of talking about, was I engaged, interested and drawn in? Then did it resonate with me? Did it evoke certain emotions? That's the second question. Third question, did I engage with the reading experience? So that's talking more about the writing, the characters, the plot, etc. Excuse me. Fourth question is, did it give me what I was looking for? So because each book is different, are we looking for a fun little quick romance, something with a really deep storyline, great character development, things like that? And the final question is, would you go on a second date?
Yes.
Which is more like, would you read it again or would you recommend this book? And Mel, do you want to tell us about our rating system?
Yes, our rating system. So we have obviously 0 to 5. So 0 is the book didn't meet any of the criteria, and we didn't even finish it. That's sort of what 0 is at. I feel like that's pretty self-explanatory. The first, so number 1, it met like one of the criteria. That's a mismatch.
Yes.
So our main thing for that was the book was not giving.
It
wasn't giving. What exactly that means, it's up to your interpretation, but it wasn't giving. And it only met, one of the criteria points. Then if it's met 2 of the criteria points, we call that a casual connection. So that's where the book has had some enjoyable moments, but there wasn't a super strong connection. The writing or the storyline flowed somewhat naturally, but there were very few shared like interests or values. If there was 3 criteria points that were met, we call that a promising interaction. So we're getting closer. So this means the book showed potential with a good connection. There were shared interests, enjoyable conversations, and a sense of comfort while reading it, but it just didn't reach a level of complete resonance. If it's met 4 criteria points, that's great chemistry. We love that. This means that the book was fantastic with meaningful conversations, and we had a strong connection with it. And number 5, if it's met full criteria, that is our perfect match. And that is where the book has pretty much exceeded expectations. So it creates a deep, meaningful connection. We have a deep, meaningful connection with it. The conversation flowed effortlessly. Their shared values and interests are aligned, and there was a strong sense of comfort and chemistry.
Yes.
And we love that. So that's obviously the goal for each book, but obviously it's going to be different for everyone. But that's our rating system. That's our criteria. We would love for you guys each month to engage with this.
For sure.
We will too, obviously, in the podcast, but also on Fable. And we hope you enjoy it because it's just really fun. Yeah,
absolutely. If, like Mel said, if you join us on Fable, we'll probably put these discussion questions up on there, and that way we can have a chat. And then when we do our next episode, we can talk about those discussion points, what everyone else thinks about the book and whatnot. So that being said, we are going to get into our January read. So Melissa and I thought we'd start off this month just doing our own book club read, just us two, just to see how we go.
And some you guys might have already read it, so it might be a nice surprise for that too.
Exactly, so we chose Love and Other Words by Christina Lauren.
Amazing.
And spoiler alert.
Big spoilers here.
Big spoilers, okay.
So do not listen to this if you haven't read it and you want to read it.
Yes, because we are going to talk about it. All right, so introducing the book, we have our blurb.
Yes, let's give it a
read that one out.
Okay. They spent a decade apart. Now will they find their way back to one another? Macy Sorensen is settling into an ambitious, if emotionally tepid routine. Work hard as a resident, plan her wedding to an older, secure man, keep her head down and heart tucked away. But when she runs into Elliot Petropoulos, her first and only love, the careful bubble she's constructed begins to dissolve. Once upon a time, Elliot was Macy's entire world. At 13, he was her first real friend, and by 18, he was her everything. Just as they were about to take on the world together, everything fell apart. But even after 11 years, nothing between them has changed. And although the memories of spending lazy weekends and summers together are obscured by the agony of what happened that night so many years ago, Macy can't seem to resist him. Ooh.
My
actually
goodness.
a really good blurb. I actually don't think I read the blurb before I read it. So that was actually, yeah.
Just went into it blind?
Yeah, goddamn.
Oh my gosh, Mel, I was entranced by your voice just
thank
then.
you, stop.
So lovely.
ASMR coming soon.
Okay, so yes, that was Love and Other Words.
Yes.
Why did we choose this book?
Well, Tana chose this book.
Mm-hmm.
Tana's read it before. Yeah, why did you?
I just thought it would be a fun and easy read to start off our book club with. Yeah, and I thought Melissa would enjoy it as well, seeing as we are pretty aligned with our likes in our books. Yeah, that's it really. But yeah, let's talk about some of the things that we enjoyed. Oh, actually, let's start off with tropes.
Yeah.
Let's go with tropes.
Plot devices.
Tense,
blah, 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 that sort of stuff.
Yeah. So this is sort of like a childhood friends to lovers to strangers to friends
to something
to something
maybe, who knows.
yeah, it was a lot, this one. But
different tenses.
Yes,
takes you back from past to present, which can actually, I find, be annoying for a lot of books, but I think this book did it well.
I think it worked. Yeah. What else was there? Miscommunication.
Yeah, lots of miscommunication. My God.
Yeah.
What was there? Yeah, miscommunication. The writing style, there was like some parts of the book that were like emails, and most of the time it was just, I think it's always Macy's perspective.
I believe so, yeah.
So Macy and Elliot are the two main characters. It's usually, I think it's always Macy's perspective, except for in the email chapter where it was kind of like, I don't know what you call it.
So emails between Elliot and Macy
yes,
who are the main characters.
Yeah, so it takes you through their whole childhood, and from when they first met to when they sort of created a bond with each other, what that looked like for them, and then obviously it holds, the tension's held because you don't know what happened that night, where everything sort of went to shit. Definitely not how she writes it in the book, but it's essentially what happened. And so the suspense is obviously kind of really kept well, like lots of tension until right at the end when it's revealed what happened, which obviously we'll talk about, but also trigger warning big time for people who might have gone through assaults before, any type of assault. If that's too triggering for you, I probably wouldn't read this or even listen to this episode if it's too much. But yeah, we'll be talking about that in the book as well.
Yes.
Any other devices, tropes, writing style?
Nothing that I can think of at the moment.
It'll probably come up as we're talking about it.
I think so.
So it's like the first things I think that we can identify.
Okay. So
get into it?
Let's get into it. Our general thoughts. So things we liked, things we didn't like.
Okay.
All right.
First,
yeah, sure. So I think the first thing that I noticed, like we said, was that it switches between past and present tense.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that about the book. So it was a bit jarring at first. So I just didn't realise, but it was fine. I enjoyed it. I just didn't realise.
But it took like a period of adjustment.
Yeah, exactly. Because I haven't really read too many books like that where it switches between the past and present. Yeah. So that was my first thing that I noticed. Otherwise, I was able to get drawn into it quite quickly. Yeah. Just so easy to read. Yeah. Nice. It was a nice, easy start. Yeah, exactly. Next thing, Macy and Elliot are just so freaking cute. Like, they're so really cute. I love them. Like,
it makes me so jealous that I never had that. I was like, oh, damn it. Where's my childhood lover? God damn it.
I love that Elliot was so just enamored with her.
Yeah.
He was just so in love with her.
And that's his world.
He loved her all this time. And he wasn't afraid to show it, wasn't afraid to say it. Yeah. I think that was really, it was just so sweet. Yeah. Just definitely pulled out the heartstrings. Yeah. What else was there? I love that they were obsessed with books.
Yes.
I love when the characters are obsessed with books.
Yeah.
I think that was so cute that they have their own little library.
I know.
Like, I want that.
Right? Where was my little cozy spot and massive closet that I can
Right?
read in? I
Full
certainly
of books,
didn't get that.
bean
Yeah.
bags, some cozy places to read.
What a beautiful way to bond, but
Like-
also, like, it would sort of teach you to be okay in silence as well with
Yeah.
someone, you know, because you're both doing your own thing, but you're together. Like,
Yeah.
that sort of intimacy.
You sort of existing together.
Yeah, like, what a beautiful way to learn about that sort
Mm-hmm.
of intimacy at that age, like, so young.
Yeah.
Oh.
I think that was so cute that they shared that together.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I want my own reading little corner.
Yeah,
you know.
right.
What else is there? I love the checklist from her mum.
Oh my god, that was one of my points. Just the
I-
letters.
Yes.
Oh, my heart.
But
That was
I
a
wish
beautiful
we
bit.
saw more of it.
Yeah, I agree. I kind of
Like-
wanted the whole thing.
Yeah.
Like, even at the back.
I wanted,
just like a whole
yes,
list,
exactly.
right?
Oh, that would have been so good.
Yeah.
I wanted to see her ticking each one off.
I feel like that's
You
real
know?
as well. I feel like, you know, if someone's parent passed away, like, they probably would do something like that. Like,
Yeah.
some parents would do that. They
Yeah.
would just prepare everything, be like, for the other parent. Like, I think that's such a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
And it was done so well.
Yeah.
Like,
So beautiful.
I don't even know if I've ever come across that before
Yeah.
in a book. And it was just like beautiful.
Yeah.
It's
I
like
loved
so
it.
emotional.
Yeah. I know we did see her and her dad, Macy and her dad, ticking off some of those things off the list. But like I said, I wish we just got a bit more. I would have loved to see that.
Yeah.
What else is there? I felt awkward for Sean.
Sean,
He was so
so odd.
supportive,
Yeah, but like weird, man.
but yeah, just very awkward for him.
detached. So
Yeah.
detached. It's like, yeah, you have a kid, that's awesome, but like, why bother having a partner if you're not going to treat them like your partner? Like, they acted
Yes.
just like roommates.
Like, it was just like, oh, whatever.
a casual hookup. It was so
Yeah.
bizarre. Because at first, yeah, I liked Sean too. I was like, oh my god, he's so accepting.
Yeah.
And then throughout it, I was like, wait a second.
Yeah.
Does he even care?
He's a bit too chill about this.
Well, he was in love with his ex. And so
Yeah.
they both kind of just came together in the similar sort of situation. And I was like,
Yeah.
is that really healthy? Well, obviously, it wasn't, because they both agreed it wasn't. But it was a bit jarring.
Just,
to use that same
yeah,
word. It was
awkward.
what?
Like-
Yeah, so awkward.
Just
then
felt
we
like
all
there
met
was
together as well.
almost no care,
Yeah.
no emotion, just like,
Yeah.
sure, whatever, go and see Elliot.
I know. So weird.
know?
But the weird when they all met together, like Elliot, Sean, and Macy meet.
Oh my
at
gosh.
the picnic where like Macy's introducing Elliot to everyone,
Yes.
and then like Sean like gives her a big kiss, and she's like, "What?"
So he was a bit possessive, there,
right? But like
But
nowhere
then
else.
for the rest of the picnic, he just went and sat and was
Yeah.
on his phone,
Literally.
or like,
I was
it's
like,
just
why
confusing.
bother?
Yeah.
And so I think maybe in his head he was like, well, I've already got her, so I don't need to do anything else. But then why the possessive kiss then? It was very bizarre.
Yeah, just
very bizarre
interesting.
behavior.
But like I said, I did like how he was supportive
Yes, he was very understanding.
and understanding. Yeah.
But I think because he was detached, he was able to be like that. I
Yeah.
think if he was actually fully invested, he would not be as understanding.
Yeah.
But I agree. I think
So true.
it was really sweet that he was like actually listening to her
Mm-hmm.
at some parts and understanding her issue.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm.
Okay. So, I don't know if you picked up on this earlier, but the miscommunication trope.
God, it pisses me off. It's
I-
so dumb. It's so dumb.
I did not like it.
I didn't like
Irritates me so much.
because it's so unrealistic.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, who the hell has a grudge for that long? No offense if you do, but like, man.
And
come
also,
on.
if they're just begging to just explain,
yeah,
I would at least hear them out once.
absolutely.
Just to see, like, what's going on. Like, what explanation do you have?
Yeah, especially from what actually happened to Elliot, which we'll go into in a moment.
Yes, but I think Elliot had a pretty good
He had a
explanation.
pretty freaking explanation.
Like-
far out, man.
I get that it was hard for her to see that.
Yeah.
For Macy to see Elliot in that
Yeah.
position.
Yeah.
And what she thought happened.
And then her dad died.
And then her dad died.
for real, hard. I can imagine.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
But just
But like,
hear him out.
for
Like,
11 years.
talk about it. 11 years. Like,
How do you go from being that close to just nothing?
exactly. Damn, Mel.
Yeah. It was so, no, the miscommunication trope is so, like, I do not love it.
Yeah,
No, for real.
okay.
And I feel like
Perfect.
it's rarely ever done well. Like, I can't even think of it being done well.
Yeah.
Ever. Because it's just so I feel like it's just so unrealistic.
Oh,
like, what do you
so
mean you don't talk to them
frustrating.
for 11 years? Like,
Yeah.
you were like soulmates.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it's like, nah, I saw you cheating with no context whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
Bye. And then my dad died. Well, no, I don't want to talk to you still. Like,
Yeah.
what do you mean? What do you mean?
Oh, man.
To quote Justin Bieber.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Oh, whoa.
So,
Oh,
I have to
wow.
quote him once each podcast.
Okay. That was my
No, for real.
assessment of the book.
No, love.
I enjoyed it overall.
Mm-hmm.
I can't even remember what I gave on Goodreads, to be honest. Probably a 4.5.
That's quite a high rating. But I feel like I would give it a 4, I think.
Yeah.
I think the 1-star loss is the miscommunication trope and the way they dealt with, well, what we'll talk about in a second.
Yeah.
But I feel like maybe I should go through my points.
Yeah. That's that point you're about to bring up.
Yeah, we'll save that for last.
We definitely agree on that one. We'll,
Yeah,
we'll leave it for
100%.
last. That was my other
Point. Your last
point. My other qualm I had with this
Yes.
book. But yes, go ahead. Your thoughts.
Let's see. So obviously agreeing with all of Tanner's because we're the same person.
Literally.
To add on, yeah, I thought nice easy start, decent capturing the emotion of loss and describing the dad's grief. I think the description of the relationship between the mum and the dad was so beautiful.
Yeah.
Like so beautiful.
So loving.
Yeah.
And
just devoted to each other. Just a beautiful, beautiful. Yeah, I loved that. I found freaking when Elliot and Macy meet again, like in the book, like, and they meet as adults after the 11 years, and Macy's reaction to him was so cringy. She doesn't even face him, like tries to run away, and I'm like, girl, like, what, you're in your 20s, what
Come
are
on
you
now.
doing? Like, you can't just run away. Like, who does that? You'd be like awkward, but but you, and if you knew you couldn't like escape slyly, you would just have to face up to it.
you don't run away.
Yeah, that's so crazy. What a wild thing to do. Like, it is so not a real thing.
That is so true.
At least, I mean, I can be very awkward, but I've never been that awkward.
Yeah.
Yeah. Didn't love that. I feel like that was a bit over the top.
Fair.
Yeah, I agree. I did like the back and forth between the different tenses, so past and present. Usually that can kind of annoy me, but I think this book actually did it really well.
I agree.
I think because the stories in each tense were worth reading.
Yeah.
Like, I was actually really eager to go back to the past, and then when I was done with that chapter, I was like, okay, let's get to the present. Like, I was actually keen for each tense.
I think there was a bit of like a sense of mystery in each side of it.
Yes. Yeah.
Because are they going to get together?
Exactly.
And also in the past, what led them to not seeing each other for 11 years?
Yeah, I think that was actually, really, really well done. That's probably where I give most of my ratings, is I think that was one of the best ways I've seen tense being used in a book, at least in a romance book. Let's see. Yeah, I like the little emails chapter as well. I thought that was really endearing. It made me giggle because it's like, I think she captured adolescence quite well.
I think so.
Yeah, I think it was just really well done.
Just the awkwardness.
So cute, so awkward.
But also sweet.
I
just,
know. So sweet. It made me actually giggle.
Oh.
And with that, I also like the slow build to their romance as well.
Yes.
And the awkwardness that comes with like first love and sexual experiences.
I love a slow burn.
Right.
Yeah.
We loved it. Yes, we liked how understanding Sean is. But yeah, once again, same point. He's odd. He's
odd.
detached.
Yeah.
I love the letters. Yeah, from the mum. I literally wrote in my notes, love the letter from the mum about her, period as well, when she was talking about like her period and like what to do. So sweet.
She made sure she was educated and helped with that. Yeah.
This is one of my favorite quotes from the book. So this was Macy to her dad, where she says, "I like your kind of quiet. Your heart isn't quiet." And that like made me like tear. I was like, that is the most. Like, that's one of the sweetest things I feel like I've ever seen I've ever read someone say to someone.
Beautiful.
Isn't that like such a stunning line?
It feels like a compliment. Like the biggest
It's beautiful.
compliment. On the outside, you seem quiet. Yeah. You're quiet in nature, but your heart isn't quiet. It's full. Like it has lots of...
Right? Isn't it just so soulful? It's such a meaningful compliment.
Yeah.
Beautiful. So that was one of my favorite quotes. I think what's Macy's friend's name? Is it Sophia?
Oh goodness.
Her main friend. I feel like it's Sophie. I want to say.
I can remember is it Viv? the baby.
The Viv the baby, which we love, icon.
I think
no
it's
lying,
Viv.
sad. She probably would have said a lot if she could. But I think I'm going to say Sophie.
Okay.
If it's not,
let's go with
you
Sophie.
can correct us.
Sorry, Sophie.
Sorry, Sophie. Yeah, she, instead of saying like you're being a pussy, she said like you're being a testicle.
Yeah.
And I thought that was so funny. It actually made me cackle. Like, it's so dumb, but I love it. It was kind of like, yeah, fuck that. Why did we say pussy? Like, testicle, you being such a like, don't be such a testicle. Like, I love that. It's so out of the box. I thought it was so dumb, but it was just made me giggle.
No, I love that. Yeah.
And before we get to the last bit, one of my other favorite quotes, well, it wasn't favorite, it was just really fucking sad. And Macy says, if we drive today, I won't be a daughter anymore. Oh. And that's like at the end when she's like having a breakdown. I think she's just explained everything to Elliot at the wedding. Like, this is in present tense. And then she runs home because Elliot's like not dealing very well with everything that's been revealed. And she has like a massive breakdown in like her cabin with her dad, or her holiday house, I should say. And then, she says that, like thinking back, and she's like, I think she's talking to her dad and her mum, like, because she's in the middle of the breakdown. She thinks she's actually talking to them. Yeah. And she says, if we drive today, I won't be a daughter anymore. And so I was like, far out. That's like the saddest thing I've ever heard.
Heartbreaking.
Oh, yeah, and to lose both your parents, like, really horrific.
Yeah.
But yeah, those were also my main points. So I feel like I'm trying to think of anything else. No, let's get to the big scene, the big reveal of the miscommunication. Yeah,
let's do it. Let's talk about it.
I think we can both agree it wasn't dealt with very well. So
definitely agree.
Elliot's massive reveal is that essentially he was sexually assaulted.
And that's where Macy found him.
Yes. Really, really drunk at a party.
Passed out.
Yeah. He proposed to her on the phone.
Yep. She
was like, no, or whatever, or I'll come see you, because they were at two separate parties. She drives to his party like an hour away or something. Yes. Yeah. Goes upstairs, finds him
passed out on the bed with a girl.
Who we keep hearing about in this damn book, Emma.
Yes.
We hate you, Emma.
And so Macy takes that as like, wow, he cheated on me, and just bolts from
because Emma's sitting on top of, lying on his stomach, and he's got his pants down, like he's got his wang out. Yeah. And so obviously we presume that something's happened there. Yes, because I think she's naked too or something like that. Anyway, we obviously can presume what happened. Yeah.
And so that's later on in the present. Yeah. Elliot's big reveal is that he thought that Emma, because he was so
out of his mind,
just drunk. Yeah, exactly. He thought it was Macy. Yeah. But it obviously wasn't.
Yeah, but also I'd like to say probably the bigger reveal that should have been really handled, I think, better, is probably the sexual assault. Like, that was not named. Like, it was not in the book. It's not called rape. It's not called assault. It's just like,
I didn't know.
Yeah, like I was just super drunk, which usually obviously we hear that excuse in real life and we're like, yeah, sure. But in this book, I actually believe he was this character. I do believe that he was just out of his mind, drunk. Yeah. And that probably was his perspective. But he was literally assaulted. Like, Emma knew.
And then Macy sort of just like, oh.
Yeah. No one addresses that like, massive assault that happened to him. It was more just like.
He wasn't spoken about.
Yeah. Like, not like oh my God, you got assaulted. Are you okay? Like, none of that. It was just like, oh, you thought it was me. Damn. Yeah. Well, it wasn't.
Like, oh, I get it now.
Yeah. Like, what do you.
That's
like,
it.
No, that this man was like taken advantage of.
So insane. Yeah.
Like, that's
it wasn't talked about.
Yeah.
That's
that should be the focus. Because that's a really big deal. And then like, he's like, I didn't know your dad died like that night as well. Because obviously she comes home really upset. Her dad comes to see her because he followed her from the other party that she was at. And then they go to drive to their actual home together, I think. And then that's when they get into a big car crash. And so the dad dies on the same night. Horrific, awful, yada, yada,
terrible,
yada.
sad, yeah.
Yes. But the present reveal of that whole miscommunication was just like, I do not think it was dealt with appropriately for the themes that she was trying to cover.
Like, that
as delicate themes right there.
Contrast, like when you just said that, like at the beginning of the book, Elliot asks how her dad is, and it's revealed then that he's passed. Yeah, and then throughout the book, she talks about that bit about her father dying, not having him, and also Elliot being sad about not being there for her when that happened. So that's discussed sort of pretty in depth throughout the book about losing him and how she's been dealing with that. But this reveal that what Elliot went through, sexual assault, it's just said. It's not even said that it's sexual assault, like you said. No. It's just, this is what happened. I thought it was you. It wasn't.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, that's it.
Yeah. Like,
there's no further discussion.
That a bit more?
Yeah.
Like,
there's no... Yeah.
That's like not, that's like, it's like elephant in the room, but it definitely should not be the elephant in the room. Like, we should definitely talk about that.
Yeah.
Like, it was such a weird, it was also just a weird reveal. Like, I was expecting a bit more because the tension was held so well. Obviously, the tension was held so well that you really expected it to be like an amazing ending or like a crazy twist. And it was a crazy twist. It was just a weird fucking twist. Kind of just, I felt like there could have maybe been a better twist.
Yeah.
It just seemed a bit...
Well, I thought the twist would be something like he did cheat on her or something like that. But it was far worse than that.
Yeah, literally, it wasn't even just that. Like,
he was assaulted.
Yeah, he literally doesn't remember the night at all, and his friends know that as well. Like, and he didn't know that she saw him. Like, he didn't know that Macy was there at all. Like, after.
Yeah.
Like, he thought that she was just embarrassed about having sex, and they just didn't talk.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like,
and obviously that wasn't the case.
That's why it frustrated me so much. Like, please communicate.
Macy's reactions were just not it. Not it. And in the present tense, still she doesn't address it well. Like, she doesn't receive it well.
Yeah.
It's just such a weird, that was the weirdest part of the book where I was like,
I think that's communication, the miscommunication trope, and that were the things that brought it down for us.
Yeah,
I think.
put it down for real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, that was really iffy. Obviously, we don't know Emma's condition at the time as well. She could have been blackout drunk too. But from how it's described in the book is that Emma, like, she
was pretty aware.
Well, like, it like jumps onto him. I think was sort of the vibe, if not the actual words.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so just from that assumption, he was like definitely assaulted.
Yeah, I think we can.
We can
on that.
gather that. Yeah, and so I'm just really confused as to why that was the miscommunication and why they couldn't sort it out within the 11 years that they had to do so. Yeah. Like, Macy's reaction was just a bit unrealistic because I feel like not many people would ever do that.
Yeah.
And also, wouldn't your curiosity get the better of you? Like, I don't know. There's so many questions I have about Macy.
Yeah, just want to find out what happened.
Yeah, just messy. But other than that massive part of the book.
Besides that,
the first half of the book, like before that ending, was I think it was like a really well done.
I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought it was beautiful.
Yeah. I would read the beginning again.
Yeah.
And I would skip that part, and then I would read the ending. Because they end up together.
I think in my mind, I'm going to pretend that they move on with their lives, but they do have a talk about it at some point.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm going to think that's what happens.
I think that's very fair.
That helps me cope with the ending of the book, I think.
Yeah, for real. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I think that's it for our thoughts about the book. I mean, if you have read this book and you want to share your thoughts, if you agree with anything or if you disagree with anything, please let us know on any of our platforms.
Yes,
we would love to talk about this more.
Yeah,
because it's the whole point of this podcast and this book club.
Exactly. Discuss this. Share your thoughts.
Give us your thoughts.
Opinions.
Yeah, because we might obviously change our minds after if we rethink something or.
I don't know if that is something. If that's something that was spoken about by the author already, if Christina and Lauren, they're two separate.
Oh.
Yeah, so I think they're friends.
Oh, so two people wrote this book.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
What?
So. Christina Lauren is the pen name of writing partners / best friends Christina Hobbs and Lauren Billings.
That's adorable.
Yeah.
Okay, wow, so two people wrote this book. I've never.
So I don't know if they have already addressed this part of the book. I don't know when this was published. Let's see.
Yeah, we haven't heard anything. Like we haven't read anything from the authors or anyone else's opinions on
these.
These
are just our thoughts.
Our very first thoughts after reading the book. I had no idea it was two authors. Damn.
Can't find when it was written. Oh, 2018.
Wow. Okay, so not too long
So maybe
ago,
something might have been said about that. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. I guess
they
after
might have addressed it.
We'll look it up and
we'll have a look, or you guys can let us know as well.
Yeah, we'd love to hear your thoughts. We really would.
Absolutely. So I think
into the rating system.
Let's get into our rating system. And you guys will have to let us know if it was your perfect match
Yes.
as well. So, first question, did I feel a genuine connection with the book?
I'd say yes.
I'd say yes.
Overall,
So,
yes.
yeah. Was I engaged? Was I interested? Was I drawn in?
I definitely was.
Yes.
For sure. I think that was done really well.
Yeah.
Drawing in really well.
So that's a tick. And I was definitely interested.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely wanted to find out what happened.
Damn
so
right.
that got me there. That's a tick.
Yep.
Next question. Did it resonate with me? Did it evoke certain emotions?
Yeah, I definitely got, I mean, for me at least, I definitely got like upset at some bits with, you know, talking about grief, and like, I think that was really done well. Even the discussion of like love and soulmates, I think that was like, yeah, I definitely think it resonated, at least with me. What about you?
Yes, I agree. Like we spoke about before, I loved the depiction of just adolescence and the awkwardness and just like that.
Yeah, that was really well done.
And
that awkwardness
and grief,
for
and
real.
grief, and it definitely made me feel a type of way.
Yeah.
So that's another check. That's two.
Amazing.
All right, next question. Did I engage with the reading experience? So did I enjoy the writing? Was it well written?
I think so.
All that?
I think overall, yes. Obviously, apart from
I think so too.
From the ending, I think the way it was written, the plot devices, most of the plot devices,
past and present tense.
Yeah, and the present tense, and exactly. I think
it.
that was done quite well.
Yeah.
And I liked her writing, like their writing style, I should say now.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right, beautiful. That's three.
Ooh.
Oh, we're getting there. All right. So for question 4, did it give me what I was looking for? So I think it depends on each person.
Yeah.
So me personally, I was definitely looking for just like a fun love story, something easy. I think it gave me what I was looking for. So that's a tick for me. How about you?
I'd agree. I think it did give me what I was looking for.
Yeah.
Overall, it was a very easy read, but it drew me in. It was entertaining. It was funny. It was a lot of different emotions were evoked.
Yeah.
I think the humor was done well. The awkwardness was done well. I think the grief parts were really done well. I felt, as you said, a type of way.
Yeah.
And each chapter did that really well. Yeah, I think it did ultimately give me what I was looking for.
Okay, beautiful.
4. Oh my goodness. It's going to be a perfect match.
Ooh. All right, last and 5th question. Would you go on a second date? So would you read it again or would you recommend it? Is it going to be a perfect match?
Stars? I don't know.
Well, okay. Would you... I'm personally not a rereader.
I'm not a rereader either.
But I recommended it to you.
Yeah.
I would recommend.
I feel like I would recommend it to other people too. Just with like the caveat of like... You know, you might not love the ending, but otherwise, I mean, some people might love the ending. I don't know, but just I think overall, the book as a whole, I probably would recommend. To someone.
I think maybe
even to just elicit discussion.
Yeah, I think even what might make it a 4. Not include this, not tick this box.
Yes, like
box
3,
for me.
Yeah.
I wouldn't recommend to someone that has experienced sexual assault.
Yeah, like triggering 100%.
Yeah.
Because just what it was kind of, not dealt with appropriately. I feel like that might be potentially triggering for people to read about, or even just the experience. Yeah. No, I agree. I probably, would feel the same way.
Yeah.
But overall,
I enjoyed it. I liked it.
I enjoyed the journey. I liked, I think it was quite good. So I think
we might have our first perfect match.
Oh, it's so weird. Yeah, I mean, perfect match. I feel like I'm a little bit between 4 and 5.
Yeah.
I'm a bit of a 4.5.
Yeah. Fair enough.
I don't know if we can do that.
Let's do it.
I feel like sometimes
it's our rating system.
Yeah, damn right. We changed it up. So if it's in between, I guess a great match.
A great match.
Let me put it together.
So
great match.
Between great chemistry and a perfect match.
I think it's nearly there, but I think I need to recognize that miscommunication trope was really pissing me off.
Yes, it did.
And
it
you
did
do,
piss me off.
Yeah, but it was very close. You know what I mean? Like,
hold on. Let's go back to questions.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the reading experience. Maybe that irritated it for me. I don't know if I give that a
full point. I was thinking that too when I said it. I was like, maybe I'd give that a half point.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll give it like a 4.5. I love how we're revising this in real time. This is real, guys. Absolutely real. Yeah, maybe a 4.5.
4.5.
Yeah, because it wasn't wasn't absolutely perfect, but like
I think those two main things that we spoke about.
Yeah.
Those
Other
were the
than that,
things
it was really well done.
I think so as well.
No, I agree. Okay,
let's do a great match.
Damn right, great
so
match.
Between great chemistry and perfect match. Just to go over our 5-level rating system again. So 0 is did not finish. 1 is mismatch. 2 is casual connection. 3 is promising interaction. 4 great chemistry, and 5 perfect match.
So 4.5 we've just made.
Yeah.
Just on the cuff, great match.
Great match. Yeah.
We probably won't put that as an official part of the rating system, but if there's a half point, you smash the words together. Yeah, that's sort of what we're going to be doing now.
We'll make it work.
Yeah, we'll make it work. But I think I'm happy with that rating overall.
Right, a great match.
Yeah.
So, in other words, 4.5 stars.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
Would recommend.
Yeah. All right. So I think that being our first episode,
first book
basically
review
over.
done. So
that
exciting.
feels crazy.
That is so crazy. Oh my goodness.
That was so much fun. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
And, I hope everyone listening did too.
Yeah, we hope it was entertaining.
Yeah.
I mean, because literally just us just talking about it. Yeah. So you're really just kind of listening into the chat, which is most podcasts. So we hope, I like listening to this sort of stuff. I think Tana does too.
Definitely.
So we hope that you enjoyed it. We hope that if you've read the book, that this is like maybe made you think differently about it, or challenge some things, or you just fully agree. That's amazing too. Yeah. That you relate somehow. Or if you haven't read it, it's making you want to read it. That's awesome too. But we'd love to hear your thoughts on our Instagram, our TikTok.
Please let us know.
Especially Fable, please download.
Yes.
We're going to push for that one.
Yes. So speaking of, should we introduce next month's book?
Yes,
our
we
book
should.
Club read?
Yes, next month, starting on the 1st of February.
Yes. So we didn't speak about this just yet, but what we're thinking of doing is introducing the book for the next month.
Yep.
Doing an episode on the beginning of the month, then another halfway through, just to catch up, discuss what we're reading, how we're going through it, and then again at the beginning of the month, the next month. Yeah. So probably one book per month.
At the moment.
At the moment.
Yeah, it could change, but at the moment we think one a month is achievable for most.
Yeah. But for February, since it's just Valentine's Day, but we had to do a romance.
Yes, drum roll.
We're doing Happy Place by Emily Henry.
Yes.
I think it's quite an interesting book to do. I feel like from what I've seen, Emily Henry, people's opinion on Emily Henry, you either polarizing. Either you love her books or you hate it. So
it's giving Colleen Hoover.
I think that's more hate than
for real.
But that's another discussion. But Happy Place by Emily Henry,
amazing.
That'll be February's read of the month.
Yes, come join us.
Please join us.
We haven't read it.
This
is a new one for both of us.
Yes.
And we'd love to hear everyone's opinions real time.
Exactly. So like I said, if you join us on Fable, Literary Soulmates, we will put Happy Place on there, and the book will be separated into chapters. That way we can discuss in each chapter our thoughts. That way there's no spoilers for each chapter. But join us on Fable at Literary Soulmates, and on Instagram and TikTok at literary.soulmates. And make sure to check out our link in our bio that has all our links to our podcasts, Goodreads, Fable. TikTok, Fable, all of that is on there.
Also our podcasts be on Spotify, and we're trying to get ours on Apple Podcasts too.
Yes.
So, but at the moment, Spotify is definitely working. So.
Yeah. Yes, please check us out.
Yes.
And thank you so much for listening. Thank you, Mel.
Yeah, thank you, Tana.
That was so much fun.
It was so much fun. So we'll see you next month.
Maybe on the 1st of Feb. We'll see how we go. Yeah,
we'll figure it out. But that's the plan. That's it.
Yeah.
So thank you guys for joining us.
Thank you.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye.